The story you're about to hear may be unsettling to some viewers. It is the actual true story of what really inspired William Peter Blatty to write the novel that would inspire one of the scariest horror movies ever made. When the movie came out in December of 1973, many could not watch the entire film. Some even ran from the theaters crying and becoming physically ill. That's hard to imagine in today's standards because there are so many that are far more violent and scary. But in those days, this was the scariest film of its time. What really inspired Blatty to write the book was a story he had heard about a boy who lived in Washington, D.C. It was the mid-1940s in a suburban area with your typical German-American family. His real name was hidden for many years, but became known as Roland Doe. It later came out that his name was Robbie Mannheim, or Ronald Hunkler. Either way, he was 13 years old and was extremely close to his aunt, who was said to be a spiritualist who dabbled in the occult and taught the boy how to use the Ouija board. Naturally, he was absolutely devastated by her passing and soon began acting very strange. Furthermore, he began hearing scratching and clawing of the walls and floor in his room, and they heard water dripping from pipes, yet no water was there. Soon, things took even a stranger turn when his bed began to move with him in it. The family was now growing very concerned and sought help from local carpenters to get a clue as to what was happening. When that didn't work, they took the boy to a psychiatrist. They finally took him to the local minister, and he said there was nothing he could do, but he suggested that the family seek the assistance of the Jesuits. The local Catholic priest was a man named Father Albert Hughes. He asked his superior's permission to perform an exorcism on the boy in late February of 1949. The church granted Hughes permission. By this point, the boy was barely eating, he was extremely pale, and was screaming and cursing at the priest. It was decided that the boy would have to be strapped down so that the exorcism could proceed. At first, all was going well, that is until Roland broke the strap that was tying him down and broke off a piece of the bed that he was tied to and gashed open the priest's shoulder, causing blood to spill everywhere. The exorcism was stopped until Father Hughes could get medical treatment for his injury. While the father was healing from his wound, Roland began having scratches and marks come up on him without anyone even touching him. Somehow the word Louis appeared on his body. His family took it as a sign that they needed to move to St. Louis because they had family there. They didn't want to leave their friends and family in Washington, but they would do whatever it took to save their son. Not long after relocating to St. Louis, they bought a home on Roanoke Drive. After settling in, one of their relatives had seen what was going on with Roland and wanted to do whatever it took to get the boy some help. She put the Hunklers in touch with Father Walter Halloran and Reverend William Beaudern. The two men came to the home and noticed all sorts of strange activity. Aside from the boy screaming and cursing, they witnessed scratches appearing out of nowhere, and the boy's bed shaking violently. It was even worse than what was happening in Washington. The priests agreed that an exorcism had to be done right away, and that they would have many assistants to help things go more smoothly, and so that no one was injured this time. While all this was going on, they noticed that during the daytime hours, the boy would remain calm, but as the night approached, his behavior would become extremely violent and hateful. He would also enter a trance-like state and speak in a low guttural voice, but when anything pertaining to Jesus or the Bible was brought near him, he would go insane. Things would also fly across the room as the boy got angrier, yet nothing touched them to send them flying. Beaudern reportedly saw an X appear on Ronald's chest, which he believed meant the number 10. Another time, A pitchfork-shaped pattern of red lines moved from the boy's thigh and down his leg. These types of things happened every night for more than a month. Once, a red X appeared on Ronald's chest, making the priest think he was possessed by 10 demons. After nearly a month of constant struggle, and as Roland's health began to deteriorate, and as his tantrums became even more violent, his parents decided that he needed to see real doctors and therapists. So they signed him into the Alexian Brothers Hospital in St. Louis. Sometime in mid-April, while at the hospital, the boy woke up having seizures. As he calmed down, he said that Satan would always be in him. The priests began laying all sorts of holy relics around the boy, but he didn't seem to react violently as he had before. The priest who was on duty late that night called on Saint Michael to rid Roland's body of Satan, and to reclaim the boy's soul from the devil. After 7 minutes, the boy woke up and calmly told the priest that the devil had finally gone. From that day forward, there was no further issues from Roland, and he went on to live a somewhat normal life. Was he truly possessed by the devil? Was it a mental breakdown from the passing of his aunt with whom he loved so dearly? We'll probably never really know. Either way, it inspired a book and movie that has both entertained and scared the living hell out of people for over 4 decades. We hope you liked today's story. If you did, won't you please give up a thumbs up and click the description box below to add all our social media links, and check out our online store. We promise you'll love it. Till next time.